Okay, guys, highlights from Thursday in our chat room, greatstockpicks.com. I'm not exactly tearing it up lately. Tricky market. You always have to trade with Europe in mind. I don't care if you're long or short. At any moment, there could be a headline come out of Europe that'll kick your butt, no matter which way you are. So, and as you'll see in this video a little bit later on, and that's why I entitled this "Never Looked a Gift Spike in the Mouth." I'll explain that in a little bit, but let's go into a couple calls I made today. First, IGT. These are 2-minute candles. Just super strong out of the gate, and I was looking for an entry on the pullback, but it went into what we jokingly call sidewaysness after the original rally. I think probably the signature of the HFTs, but we'll see. Anyway, zooming in here, you had this kind of pretty clear base. All right, so my idea was over this base, 1463. Worst case stop, 14. Where did I write it out? I wrote it out in the chat for everybody to see. 1449. Okay, so 14 cents risk, and there's the trigger, and it just meandered but finally got going. I'll have to zoom out with fives now. Ended up closing pretty strong, and it held after our trigger, which 1463 was somewhere, probably I think the base was right here. Anyway, went to 1520, so not horrible, right? What is that? 56 cent move in our favor on 14 cents risk. All right, there was one call. ATPG. This thing, I had it on watch because it's just super beaten up. All right, overdue for a bounce. Take today's candle out of it, and it's getting beaten up for what, 5 days in a row almost. And this is increasing volume. This is the look of a stock that should turn around here shortly, if for nothing else, at least for a day, right? Okay, so then you go to 5-minute candles, and look what it did at the open. Sold off again. I'm always thinking long when I already have a stock that's that beaten up, and then sellers jump in at the open because they're chasing, okay? They're setting themselves up for a pretty good snapback. So I did give a verbal idea over this little narrow candle here, which would have been 375 with a stop below it at 367. That's a pretty good risk reward, and that worked. Anyone that took that, it never did go down and take out the low of the day. So from 370, what I say, 375, it ended up making it over $4. That wasn't. That was just a suggestion early. I don't really like trading in the first 30 minutes. But kind of like IGT, only a different chart setup, called it over this base, actually with a trigger and stop typed out in the announcements tab there. What did I say? 384 over this base. Worst case stop, 378. There's the trigger, and just kept grinding higher all day. So 384 to 406, still, that's about a 10% move. It doesn't seem like a big move, but about a 10% move. And the stop was, what, 6 cents below? Okay, and then late in the day, I was stalking 2 at a time. I had the projector on so everybody could see it, and I'm projecting both of these back and forth. PAY was interesting because it was in that potential final push down shape. All right, this kind of shape can't last forever. And then if you look at the daily, remember it's near $30, right? Look at the daily, nice bounces off this area back here, and a little higher low here. This has fallen a long way in a hurry. Okay, so then you get into that intraday sell-off, and it's already down there at support. I was thinking long, and it looked like this. I went ahead and called it at 30.20, I believe was the call. 30.11 stop, so 9 cents risk, and from 30.20, it doesn't look like much, but pretty quickly to 30.49. And I'll show you KGC too, and then I'll explain what I meant by the title here. KGC, I did not have this on watch, but it lands on our radar after it does this pop. Okay, so on this pullback, I called this long at 854, somewhere right in here with an 844 stop, and it ends up getting back. Doesn't look like much again, but got to 875. On a dime risk, you can have a little bit better size. So nice late day trades in KGC and PAY. Now, I'm not exactly a genius. It certainly didn't hurt that when we took those entries, which both triggered at about the same time, it doesn't hurt that the SPY did this. Okay, so everything was popping. And so that's what I mean. You never know if this is for real or if it's going to be negated with the next headline. So we always teach our members whenever something's rallying, a high-quality problem, right? You're in something and it's ripping. It's a fun problem to have, but this is what I teach our members. And if you want to, it's hard to quantify it, but here's how I word it, okay? If you're in something and it's moving up nicely in your favor, so much so that you start doing math in your head on how much you're going to make on this trade if it just keeps going at this pace. Or you find yourself reaching for a calculator to decide how much you're going to make. How many shares do I have, plus if this is going to go up another $1. Anytime you get those thoughts in your head, let that trigger a new mechanism that says, wait a minute, that's supposed to tell me to sell. Okay? You don't have to sell it all, but anytime you're in, and I know this is the SPY, but we had other stocks ripping in conjunction with this, which makes sense. Okay? Anytime you're in something, switch to 2 so you can get a better look at it. And you get a move like this, the only thing you should be thinking is, I'm going to start selling some. Okay? If you have 1,000 shares, sell 300, whatever, but make sure you always sell into a spike. That's a gift. That's what I mean by a gift spike. Never look a gift spike in the mouth. Always sell into a spike. You can keep some, right? Keep some and make it come back to break even before it stops you out. But anyway, I'm not going to babble any further. I'm already almost 6 minutes into the video. Have a good night. We'll talk to you guys later.